A couple things I want to talk about for you guys is why fueling is important around practice and games, but then also what to fuel with and what to look for and avoid and all that kind of stuff when it comes to fueling your body, because we don't realize how important fueling is. I can remember, just to go on a little tangent for a second, my dad, when I was in junior high, my dad, like Emily said, the kids always find junk products to have after the games and things like that. My dad would always have me eat some Skittles or some Starburst before a basketball game, because in theory, it made a lot of sense. It was right. Like, give us some sugar to give me some fuel for the game and get me excited and all this kind of stuff. But it just it wasn't exactly the best option, right? So being able to help people figure out some better options to fuel their performances and fuel their practices is something that's very near and dear to my heart. And so let's get right into why fueling is important, because there's a few things that it does to help you when it comes to fueling that helps make the performance, because, you know, carbohydrates are fuel, food is fuel, things like that are exactly what you're looking for when it comes to fueling workouts and practices and games. So what it's going to do is it's going to help you maximize your performance, plain and simple. The more fuel you're going to have, the more proper fuel you're going to have, the training performance is going to be better. It's going to help you recover after those workouts. So when your son is working out and at practice, and when he gets done, or when they do any training in the weight room, they need to rebuild their muscles, and fueling afterwards properly is going to help do that. It's going to improve your health, help prevent injuries, help heal injuries, help the recovery process, and help build performance layers so that you can continue to grow as an athlete. And with younger athletes, they're growing by leaps and bounds as it is, but just helping continue to push them and grow them further is something that we can absolutely do with proper fueling. Okay, so what is proper fueling? Let's talk about that for just a second. It's not just supplements. I'm not just here to sell you some supplements. Supplements are definitely going to help, but food is always the best option when it comes to fueling and fueling your workouts and fueling your training. For food, you know, quality carbohydrates, quality protein, healthy fats. Those are the things that your sons are going to need to be healthier and to recover and to fuel their workouts. A lot of times, you know, the idea behind the sugar that my dad would give me before a workout or before a basketball game was it was carbohydrates. It would give me some fuel for that game. That same thing still applies, just need to find a better source. So if you're going to have a piece of fruit like a banana or an apple or some grapes or anything like that, those are great fueling options for pre-practice fuel. And then pre-game fuel. And then if they have like a tournament day where there's back-to-back games in between, getting some carbohydrates, getting some things like that are going to be awesome. Peanut butter is a great protein option. If you want to have some natural food protein, a protein bar, while you got to be careful with the sugars and stuff that are in those. A lot of them have artificial flavoring, artificial sweeteners and stuff like that. But those are good options as well. Those are, so to that point, artificial flavors and artificial sweeteners are things that when looking at fueling options, you want to try to avoid. And this is where the conversation behind supplementation comes in, because, you know, for me, when I was playing back-to-back games on a daily basis, the having to eat a lot in between games never sat well with me. I hated having too much food in my stomach. And I can remember being a teenager and I would eat too much food all the time and just feel miserable when I was trying to play a game. So supplementing with protein shakes or carbohydrates or hydration or something like that in between games can absolutely help and not feel so bad between each game. So what to look for is you want to make sure that everything's certified drug-free. So there's no banned substances in it. There's a little label on most products that is called Informed Choice or Informed Sport. It's actually all called Informed Sport now. So you want to look for that label. It says Informed Sport, and that means that it's certified banned substance free. And then it's safe for your athlete to take from a banned substance perspective. Doesn't mean that it has the 100% best ingredients, because a lot of artificial sweeteners and things are approved to be banned substance free. So that doesn't mean that it's a clean product. It just means it doesn't have any illegal substances in it. You want to make sure you're looking for quality products and at a high enough dosage in those products. What I mean by that is anybody can go buy a protein shake But if that protein shake only has 2 grams of protein in it, it's not going to do as much for you from a recovery perspective as a 20-gram protein shake would. So making sure that what you're giving your son is a high enough amount of protein to help them recover after training. So 15 to 30 grams of protein, depending on the size of your kid, is a good way to go. Maybe not 30 grams, because I would assume at the age of the age that they are, they're probably not as big, but 15 to 20 grams is a good approach to go with for post-workout recovery. And Coach Matt can help kind of guide that a little bit more. And then you want to make sure that you avoid artificial sweeteners. Now, this is not just supplementation. This is food across the board. There's the biggest culprit that is out there, if you just look at the food labels, is a product called sucralose. It is not good for you. It's artificial sweetener that does things in your stomach to make your stomach not operate efficiently and correctly. So then it can create inflammation and slow down recovery and all the things that artificial sweeteners cause. So you want to make sure that you're looking to avoid things like that. And that's where I've kind of come into this conversation, because I work with a company called Xendurance that meets all of those requirements. And so, quick little backstory on Xendurance. It's a 20-year-old company that has been rooted in performance and helping athletes perform better every single day. All of the products are designed with athletes in mind. So everything that we do is going to be able for your body to absorb it, to utilize it. It's in a dosage that's high enough for you to get actual benefit from it. There's nothing artificial, and everything that we do is banned substance free. So you can feel safe knowing that we have Olympic level athletes that take our products, that just competed in the Olympics this past year. And they didn't have any issues with testing on a drug test or anything like that. So there's a couple products that I usually talk to parents about, because when it comes to fueling, it's pretty simple: carbohydrates, protein, hydration. Pretty easy, nothing crazy to try to reinvent here. It's just getting some carbs and some protein to make sure that your son can recover after workouts. The first product is a product called Fuel 5. Now, this is the carbohydrates, like eating a piece of fruit, but also a sweet potato. So with carbs, there's simple carbs, there's complex carbs. Without getting into all the details of that, you're going to get the best of both worlds here, because you're going to have fast absorbing carbohydrates plus slower absorbing carbohydrates to help fuel your athlete for practice, for game situation, for back-to-back games, whatever it may be. The Fuel 5 is a great carbohydrate product that's a good, clean source of carbohydrates to help your athlete perform better. Protein, this is just a standard dairy-based protein. It's hydrolysis is the most the most fast absorbing type of protein. So what this is going to do is it's going to reduce any type of stomach bloating or GI issues that your son might have when consuming protein, because it is a super high grade of protein. It has a full serving of BCAAs, which, if you've heard anything about it, this will fill that for you. You wouldn't need to buy a standalone product, and it tastes pretty awesome. The chocolate's my go-to. We have a vanilla flavor as well that's got a hint of cinnamon in it. It tastes pretty good. Another protein source that Emily kind of talked about is the lean, which is a vegan protein. So if your son has any dairy issues or anything like that, you can go with the lean, and it's not going to have any dairy whatsoever. That's a great option. Get you 20 grams of protein per serving. Plus, I don't know if your kids are like my kids, they don't eat a lot of veggies. This is going to get you a full serving of veggies as well, full serving of superfood greens that you need on a daily basis. And then the last product is the Hydro, which is this Gatorade replacement. It doesn't have anywhere near as much sugar in it as Gatorade does, and there's no artificial sweeteners. So you can buy a 0 sugar Gatorade, but it's got a ton of artificial sweeteners in there, right? So you can't go right with either option. But these only have 2 grams of sugar in the lemon lime, depending on which flavor you like best. For you guys tonight, at any time, if you're interested in purchasing any of these products, we have a link set up for you. That's just shopxnd.com/Mike. You can use the code BigMike15 to save 15% on your purchase. If you have questions about things, I would be more than happy to answer them at the end of this call, or if you just want to email Coach Mac and he can get in contact with me and we can talk about specific supplementation for your son. But otherwise, I would highly recommend looking into some quality fuel sources to help your athlete perform a little bit better.